Ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between, welcome back to another episode of Books and Buds. We discuss the two greatest things on earth on this channel, books and buds. So today, I'm just going through part 2 of The Greatest Salesman in the World by Mandino. I covered part 1 last week. The reason I'm doing it in 2 parts is because I'm trying to cover the scrolls, and there's 10 of them. So last week I only covered 5 of them, and the video was still 24 minutes long. I try to keep things short here. And 24 minutes is absolutely ridiculous. So this is just a book review channel, you know what I mean? So don't mind me, I'm just rolling a joint, kind of celebrating 420 here. 420, it's a big day of the cannabis community, so don't mind me. Anyways, let's jump right into it, shall we? But first, I would like to invite you to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. And as always, just thank you very much for tuning into my channel. Alright, that's enough butt kissing. Let's jump right into scroll number 6. So what I did was I wrote these all down. I'm going to read them to you. Just what the scroll number was in this particular book. And then I'm going to read a passage I liked out of it and explain to you why it works for me and why I believe it might be somewhat accurate, because I'm in sales myself. I'm trying to sell books. I'm trying to sell buds. So this is important to anybody in a position like me. Hopefully you're in a position like that too. It's kind of cool running your own little small business or two. So scroll number 6. Today I will be master of my emotions. Boy, is that ever true. So let's go through this passage I wrote down for you out of The Greatest Salesman in the World by Mandino. And how will I master these emotions so that each day will be productive? For unless my mood is right, the day will be a failure. Trees and plants depend on the weather to flourish, but I make my own weather. Yea, I transport it with me. If I bring rain and gloom and darkness and pessimism to my customers, then they will react with rain and gloom and darkness and pessimism, and they will purchase not. If I bring joy and enthusiasm and brightness and laughter to my customers, they will react with joy and enthusiasm and brightness and laughter, and my weather will produce a harvest of sales and granary of gold for me. So, when I read that particular passage, it reminded me of something my brother's ex-wife said to me. This is a long time ago. But it stuck with me because she was talking about a guy. This is before they ended up getting together. They were good friends first. He was interested in her, this particular dude. And apparently they were good friends back in the day, back in high school and stuff like that. He had a good attitude, and they had a lot of fun together, just partying in high school, you know. Smoking grass behind the dumpster, you know, and just being dumb kids. But over time, over the years, life had kind of got the better of him, and he just let him get the better of him, and he ended up going through his days with somewhat of a negative attitude. So when he asked her out, he wasn't exactly enthusiastic about it, and apparently he had this rain cloud going over him all the time. So she was explaining it to me. I'm like, why don't you go out with him? He's a nice guy. And she's like, yeah, right. Who wants to go out with somebody who's always in a miserable mood? And that stuck with me, and especially when I read this, because, when you're asking a girl out, or ladies, if you're trying to present yourself to a man and get him to ask you out or whatever, you're pretty much selling yourself. You're trying to present yourself so someone is interested in purchasing what you're offering. I'm not trying to call everybody whores or prostitutes or anything, but if a guy asks a girl out, you're selling yourself. You want her to be interested in what you have to offer. And if you have a negative and dark, gloomy attitude, she's going to purchase not, as Mandino had written. So the same thing for sales, guys. If I go to a car dealership, of course I've got other things in mind than just the attitude of the salesman. But I remember going to a salesman one time, and I was like, I was talking about the price. I was arguing about the price, and he just had this snooty attitude. And he took his pen and just threw it on the table, and he points at his corkboard. It's a picture of him and his grandchild. And he goes on this rant about how he's a good grandfather and this and that. And I was like, hey, man, I don't care about you and your grandkid. I care about that car. And frankly, you just lost a customer because I don't like people with a bad attitude like that. And I think I ended up paying more for a similar truck somewhere else. It's just the guy just really, it's like, geez, if he's got this bad of an attitude, I'm probably not going to have a good experience buying a car from these people. You know, what if I want to bring it in for some repairs, or what if I have some problems or concerns down the line? I can't trust somebody with a negative attitude to take care of me in the future. So I bought it off someone who was a little more pleasant, and I felt I could trust to work with me in future sales. So that's scroll number 6. That's what I took from it. You guys can take whatever you want from it. Leave your comments below if you take anything else from any of these passages or any of these scrolls that I read to you. So that brings us to scroll number 7. I will laugh at the world. I liked this one. I thought it was fun, and I pulled a pretty cool passage out of it I'll share with you guys. And most of all, I will laugh at myself, for man is most comical when he takes himself too seriously. Never will I fall into this trap of the mind, for though I may be nature's greatest miracle, am I not still a mere grain tossed about by the winds of time? Do I truly, whence I came or whither I am bound? Yeah, I think I might have screwed up writing that down. Anyways, will my concern for this day not seem foolish 10 years hence? Why should I permit the petty happenings of today to disturb me? What could take place before this sun sets which will not seem insignificant in the river of centuries? Boy, what a great passage, and that's a great passage because, I mean, I'm 40 years old now. I can think back to when I was in my teens, in my 20s. I go through a breakup, or maybe I wouldn't get the good grade on this particular paper that I wrote, for a project. And it was the end of the damn world back then, But now I'm a little older, and it wasn't the end of anything. As a matter of fact, it meant very little. So why did I let it bother me, So the same thing goes when we're adults. Sometimes we can remember this too. It's, in the grand scheme of things, none of this matters. None of it. We're all going to die, So we might as well just enjoy it instead of just harboring all this hate and negativity towards the things that we either don't have control over, or something that we could have done better at, we did have some control over, but for whatever reason we didn't perform as well as we should have. It's just dust in the wind, gang. Tomorrow's another day. And that positive attitude kind of piggybacks off that first one that I read to you folks about today I'll be the master of my emotions. You got to have a good attitude to succeed in life. Whether it be a writer like me, a small business owner like myself, you got to have a good attitude. It's not going to succeed in business without a good attitude, guys. I'm not going to succeed in life without a good attitude. All right, let's talk about scroll number 8. Today I will multiply my value 100-fold. This one might be a little more difficult for me to explain, but I will try. At least as best as I can, how it relates to me in my own life. Scroll number 8 is, today I will multiply my value 100-fold. A mulberry leaf, touched with the genius of humans, becomes silk. A field of clay, touched with the genius of humans, becomes a castle. A cypress tree, touched with the genius of humans, becomes a shrine. A cut of sheep's hair, touched with the genius of man, becomes raiment for a king. If it is possible for leaves and clay and wood and hair to have their value multiplied 100, yea, 1,000-fold by humans, cannot I do the same with the clay which bears my name? And I loved that passage because I'm a human, I'm a man. I can improve on myself just because I'm a man. Anyone can. I don't care what color your skin is, what sexuality you identify with, woman, what religion. You are a human being. And we've done some damned powerful things on the face of this earth. We've created miracles. We can just look in the sky and see planes flying by, cars on the streets. There's poor people, there's millionaires, and the only thing that separates them is their ability to look inside themselves and make adjustments where needed. And that's the beauty of being a human. There's nothing holding you back. There just isn't. And you can see the proof all around you every day. You turn on your television and you see a miracle. Somebody made that television. And that person on the television making all this money to sit there and either sell you something or entertain you, they created that themselves because they believed in themselves. We're all geniuses. It's don't let yourself be your own worst enemy. It's kind of like what Einstein said. I believe he said, I'm paraphrasing here, but something like, if you judge a fish by its ability to fly, it'll go through life thinking that it's stupid. But to be honest with you, fish, they glide through that water ways that birds can't. It's their natural thing, and they're geniuses at it, for goodness sakes. They're just naturals. So don't let someone try to force you, if you're a round peg, try to force you into a square one, or a square peg into a round hole. You gotta be comfortable in your own skin. Find out what you're awesome at, and then you gotta just go with it and work on yourself until you're just the best at it. Because that's what people appreciate. You know, somebody made that plane. How many people laughed at the Wright brothers? You can't make a plane. You can't fly. Come on, you don't have wings. They're like, you know what? I don't want to listen to you. I'm a genius at what I have in my own head and what I have in my own heart. And those boys touched it, and now they are some of the most successful and innovative people in history. Scroll number 9, moving right along. I will act now. This is really important. I got some stuff by Dan Pena. He's kind of a motivational guy I like to follow on YouTube. Check out some of his videos if you get a chance. But I'll go through some of the things he said that resonated with me after I read this. His words came right to mind. But I will act now. I will not avoid the tasks of today and charge them for tomorrow. For I know that tomorrow never comes. Let me act now, even though my actions may not bring happiness or success. For it is better to act and fail than not to act and flounder. Happiness, in truth, may not be the fruit plucked by my action, yet without action, all fruit will die on the vine. I think that last sentence is probably the most important part of that passage. May not be the happiness, in truth, may not be the fruit plucked by my action, yet without action, all fruit will die on the vine. So you're never going to know how successful, how happy you can be in life until you take action. If you don't take action, I guarantee your dreams are going to die on that tree of your dreams, of your goals. So take action. At least you'll feel damn good about yourself for trying. And then you learn things on the way. So say you do fail. You might learn that that's not what you were really after all along. You might learn that you just made one little mistake, but if you try it again, you'll get that much closer to the fruit. And that brings me to the comment by Dan Pena. This reminded me of, because I remember watching him on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was just like, pull the trigger. Now, what he meant by that was just like, take action. Just whatever it is you're going after, start. For goodness sakes, you're going to make mistakes along the way, but those mistakes teach you something. You're not going to learn anything unless you get started. Now, he had made reference to one of his students. He calls them his kids. He teaches a lot of classes where he's trying to teach people to just do this stuff, to just believe in yourself and take action and just stop being a wimp and get it together, guys. And so he was talking about this one student. He read over 700 self-help books. What are you doing? I mean, there's like 3 kinds of people, you know, in the world like that. There's the people that are victims. They just think, you know what, it'll never be good for me. Who am I? I'm just useless. And all these other people, they tread all over others and the small to get ahead in life. And I'll never get ahead because I'm not like that. And that's a victim mentality. You're just waiting for Prince Charming to come and pick you up. Whether a man or a woman, you're waiting for Princess Charming, Prince Charming. Never going to happen. Prince Charming, Princess Charming, they're worried about themselves, and they're hanging out with other people that have got it together. So there's the victims. There's the people that had it once and they've kind of hit a plateau. And I know all about that. I was one of these plateau type people for a long time. And it took me a little while to like realize that I was like, you know what, I'm kind of in a slump. And I didn't realize that some of the depression I was feeling was lack of passion. because I was doing pretty good in real estate and I was still plugging away at my little dream of becoming a writer, but I didn't have that drive that I had to get me to that plateau in the first place. I was just kind of complacent. And it wasn't until I got into this cannabis community that I just kind of started gearing myself up to get this business off the ground, where I started feeling good again. And that's when it dawned on me. It's like, geez, you know what? You have to have something to strive for to feel good in life. So there I am. I'm back doing that again. And the other type of people, which I discussed with Dan Pena, the people that are the information people. The people that just keep educating themselves, but never taking that jump. It's almost like they're stalling. All that reading and all that research is just, it's just they're procrastinating. You know what I mean? They want it, but there's still a little bit of fear holding them back. So I will act now. Scroll 9, very important. To be completely honest with you, that probably should have been scroll number 1, but it's in there, so good on Mandino. The last one is I will pray for guidance. So no matter what your religious sect might be, this probably will help you out a little bit. It's the last scroll, and it goes as thus. Never will I pray for the material things of the world. I am not calling to a servant to bring me good. I am not ordering an innkeeper to provide me with a room. Never will I seek delivery of gold, love, good, health, petty victories, fame, success, or happiness. Only for guidance will I pray that I may be shown the way to acquire these things, and my prayer will always be answered. I might be off the rails on this one. I'm not too sure. But what I took out of that, because I've had enough success in my life where I started feeling pretty good about things, but then when you get to a certain place, you start losing that wonderful feeling of achievement. And I started doing nice things for other people, trying to help out, trying to get other people in a position where they could achieve their dreams or goals. I've given people who are in need free places to stay. And without even realizing what I was doing, I was basically, Paulo Coelho is another one. He's got this book called the Zahir, and he's talking about the favor bank. Without even realizing, I was making deposits into the favor bank. So I was doing these things to feel good, and of course when you feel good, good things come back to you. But it turns out when you're putting things into the deposits into the favor bank, people feel good about that, and then they want to help you. So I did discuss this in a previous video, but I'll get back into it now because it is important. So people do want to help you a lot of times. Sometimes you get some people that don't care. They're a little self-absorbed, and that's fine too. Whatever. You're not doing it because you're looking for something in return. But then it becomes almost like a friendly competition of how you can keep helping each other. They're helping you, you're helping them. And now you're surrounded by a circle of people that just have good vibes, and they just want what's best for everybody. Now everyone's succeeding, everyone's eating, and it's just beautiful. This video got a little longer than I wanted it to, so I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like and leave comments below to tell me what you thought some of these scrolls might have meant to you. You could have clicked on any book review station, but for some reason you chose to click on this one. I love the hell out of you for it, guys. I hope to continue giving you positive motivation and keep the love of books alive. So, again, happy 420 from Burning Bush. I love you, and we'll talk to you soon.